another COVID test today. This is my third test, and this time it's like I really do feel like I could possibly have symptoms, but it can also be allergy symptoms as well, but I don't want to ignore that. So results come in 48 hours. So yesterday I shared with you guys that I had to get another COVID test. I just wanted to share my symptoms, kind of like give more details this time about what I'm going through. So like I said earlier, the first time I got tested, which was like 5-6 months ago, was because when I got to work, I already wasn't feeling well, but I checked my temperature and it was like 103. So I was like, oh yeah, I need to go get this checked out. And then, like I said, the second time I got tested, which was like probably 2 months later, was because one of the nurses on our unit was COVID positive. But both of my last tests came back negative. So this time, my symptoms are, I actually have symptoms. I just thought it was allergies, but I also live with my family, and I would never want to like put them in unknown, like jeopardy or harm or something like that with COVID, even though they probably already been exposed. I just want to be sure. So that's when I decided to get tested yesterday. So I wanted to share my symptoms. It started about 4 or 5 days ago, but I had a constant like headache. It would not go away. My nose is a little runny, just a little, and my throat was like kind of scratchy, but not sore. It was just scratchy. So then, like the next day, my period started. So I'm like, well, maybe my headache was coming from my period, but it wouldn't go away. I still have a tension headache all through my nose, all on the top of my head. I also have runny nose. My throat is like a little scratchy, but it's not sore. I have an occasional cough here and there, but I don't have a hard cough. And I'm just have fatigue, and I get kind of tired, like walking up the step. But I have a O2 sat finger device that I check my oxygen all the time. I check my temp. I did have a temp yesterday of it's kind of stayed around 99.5. And when I had called yesterday to make my appointment to get tested, they were just kind of like, well, do you have muscle aches and chills? I don't have chills, and I can't really tell you if I have muscle aches or not because I work out like 3 times a week, so I'm not sure if that's a muscle ache or just soreness from the workout. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. Supposed to be getting my results either today or tomorrow, and I'm supposed to work tomorrow, so I don't feel bad calling out. If I do have it, I would just have to contact my friends and, let my family know, the ones that I know I've been around, to say all that. That's exactly why I'm very choosy around where I go, who I'm around. I wear my mask, and I'm just happy that I know who I've been around and that I can let them know. I haven't been around, a lot of people. And also, I haven't been to the bar, the clubs, things of that sort. And so it's very on a small scale, but it's still very unfortunate that if I come back positive, I would have to let these people know. So at this point, I have lost taste and smell. My food tastes horrible, and I eat green beans all the time. I can't smell anything, like the lotion I'm wearing. I just wash clothes. I can't smell anything. Fever is still around 99.5. So I just went ahead and took some Tylenol because I don't want it to get worse. So I just got my results back today. I'm feeling kind of like sad because I do have COVID, and I actually had my first symptom, I guess, of COVID, which was a headache about 6-7 days ago. And so I just backtracked to when it first happened, and I've started contacting people that I've been around, which is not a long list, which is really good, but I still feel very bad because, I just put people at risk. I also do feel like it for sure came from my job because I don't be going anywhere. But I'm really not excited about this 14-day quarantine, but I'm more just worried about my family. I immediately started contacting people. They actually took it better than I expected. I guess I just felt really terrible, and they were just kind of like, Brie, we could have got it from anywhere, so we really appreciate you letting us know. And they can make the decision on if they want to get tested or not. But I'm just overall just feeling the guiltiness of it, and really that's it. I'm just tired, honestly, and I don't have any shortness of breath. Nothing else has really changed, but when I did have my appointment with the doctor, it was over Zoom, and he really did kind of help me feel better about the situation. He was just kind of like, you're healthy, you take daily vitamins, you work out, you have a very high chance of just getting through this. And he actually said like within the next 5 days, I should be off of quarantine according to when my symptoms had started. And that was actually really surprising to me. But he did say that if I still have the same fatigue or my symptoms have not greatly improved or I'm not free of a fever for 3 days without medication, then I'm going to have to still continue to stay away from work and still continue to quarantine. So just to play it safe, I might just go ahead and go for 14 days before returning to work just to make sure that I'm 100%. I wasn't prescribed anything. The doctor basically just told me to continue to take my daily vitamins. He also said try to throw in some zinc in there and rest, drink a lot of water, hydrate, and try to prone at least 20 minutes a day. So I can do 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night. And proning means just laying on my stomach. That helps basically like move around the fluid in my lungs if I do have any, which I probably do. Good morning, guys. So I actually straightened my hair yesterday, which took forever. I was so tired. I blow dried it, stopped, straightened a little bit, stopped. It was just too much. But it helped me feel better, helped me feel like I look like something. I feel okay. I feel a little better. Not a major difference. I'm still hot all the time, coughing a little bit this morning. My family left this morning to go get tested, so I'm just praying that their test comes back negative. I feel so much better then. Who disregard the crust in my eye. I just want all my videos to be authentic and real. So I just decided to immediately start recording this morning as soon as I got outside. Sometimes I have to be careful about how fast I stand up, so I can just get woozy. Like yesterday, I'm such a nurse because I have a pulse ox at my house, a blood pressure cuff, thermometer. Like yesterday when I had set my appointment, they were like, well, do you have your vitals? Sure do. The only thing was, y'all, my blood pressure was so low yesterday. So I'm trying to make it a point today to drink more water. I bought a lot of Pedialyte, and I already take daily vitamins, so I'm going to continue doing that. It's really hard to, like, I be hungry, but it's hard to eat because I can't taste or smell anything. So it's just, I'm just eating just because I know I need it. So I'm currently trying not to have a panic attack. I don't want to cry. I just took a long nap and I didn't realize I took a 5-hour nap, and I don't know why it's making me cry, but it's just like, so I had to come outside, walk around, and I remember the doctor was saying like, make sure you stand outside and like do some deep breathing. So deep breathe. It just hurts like in my chest to like deep breathe. I'm just not trying to overthink this whole situation, honestly. So I wanted to explain my clip from earlier with me crying. I was really wish-washy about even sharing it, but I did want to share the realistics of like my mind process during this time. I do deal with anxiety daily, and so I guess just me literally feeling fatigue, like literally feeling tired, can feel it. I woke up from like a 4-hour nap, and I immediately just started like feeling like I couldn't breathe, let me say that. So I tried to check my pulse ox and it was normal. So immediately I thought, okay, I must be having an anxiety attack right now. And I basically went outside, and that's when I started recording. I prayed with a friend, which really helped me get past like some of my feelings and emotions. And then I asked my mom if we could walk around the neighborhood together just so I can like, just get my mind off of things. And we had a nice 25-minute walk around the neighborhood, and we just talked about everything, and it really helped calm me down because I feel like I was starting to get overwhelmed with being in my room, just in the house, and then just thinking about like how this could possibly go wrong. I was just thinking of everything. And, that's how anxiety works. You always think of like, what if, what could go wrong? And so me praying and getting that walking and really helped me like calm down. that's why the crying clip is super short, because one, I just don't see the purpose of people crying on camera, but I also think that's very important to share. That's why it's so quick, because I'm like, I had to get myself together. On my COVID quarantine, and I wouldn't say I'm getting better. I would just say that my symptoms are like stable. I sweat a lot. Definitely when I'm asleep, and I sleep a lot. I've been sleeping a lot as well. I realize like as soon as I feel like I'm better, I'll try to do a little too much and get extremely sleepy and nauseous. Yesterday I just kind of like chilled. Took it real low key yesterday. So my whole goal today is just going to be to hydrate more, eat more. Like I said, since my taste and smell is gone, it's kind of hard for me to desire things to eat because I can't taste it. But I'm actually hungry. So I'm just eating to eat. And I'm going to try to do my more walking today since I didn't walk as much yesterday. I have been doing a lot of deep breathing exercises, which I feel like helps. But this morning, I'm probably just going to go get something to eat. I woke up with a banger headache. Also, my job sends me like a survey every day through text. And I just basically take the survey so they can see if my symptoms are like decreasing or improving or not. And I appreciate it. It's like a form of tracking our progress. Hey guys, so I woke up this morning feeling slightly better because my family's test came back negative. Like all my family members in my house, which is 4 other people, came back negative, and I'm so freaking happy. Like that was the last thing that I wanted. But we still have to be precautious. So since I'm still positive, they still have to wear masks when I'm around, and I still have to wear masks as well. So I'm just happy about the news. So I wanted to do a quick update, and when I woke up this morning, I felt good. Like I felt like, okay, I feel better, but now some few hours have passed. I am tired. I'm having like this consistent headache that I've literally been having since this whole thing has started, but it's just kind of like a drag because I woke up this morning feeling good and thinking it's just going to be a great day, and then now I'm just tired and need to chill out, and like I feel hot. My body is just hot, and I have this headache, and nose is starting to back run again, so I'm just going to chill out. It's about 7 o'clock now, but this morning I can say I felt really good. I wouldn't say that I'm not getting better. At moments I do feel like I'm improving, and then sometimes like now I feel like I'm kind of like back to just not feeling good. So hopefully within the next 3 to 4 days, I'm feeling 100%. I feel better. I just woke up with a little headache today. Nose running a little bit, but overall I feel better. I notice my coughs are really more just centered around like at night, and I rarely get nauseous. But I shouldn't have to go back to work until next week. I'm feeling pretty good that within the next 2 days I should be good. I'm meaning like I should be able to be off of quarantine and back into the world, definitely with my mask on. And I'm still kind of get a little winded, just a little bit, when I'm trying to do too much or go up and down the steps. I'm definitely going to still get in my 30 minutes. So workout today, I'm just going to take my time. But yes, guys, I'm feeling great, and I'm happy about that. Hey guys, so I just recorded like 2 minutes of footage and it just stopped. So anywho, and I think it was the devil because I started giving glory to God about my experience and it just shut off. I really wanted to show my experience and talk about how this whole COVID situation just affected me as a nurse and just as a person in general. Today is my last day of being on quarantine, so I may get out a little bit today to enter back into the world with my mask on for sure. But it's my last day, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so happy to just be alive. I could have been in ICU. This just could have went totally left. My family could have been greatly affected. It's just, I praise God and I thank God for the grace and mercy that he has over my life, my family, and my friends' lives. I appreciate the understanding of my family and friends because you already have the guilt. I don't know why I get emotional talking about this, but I already had guilt about even having it.
working on a COVID unit, knowing that I could possibly get it, and then having to tell my friends and family that I was positive and how it could affect them and their mental psyche. I really dealt with a lot of anxiety during this process. It really just gave me a lot of time to reflect. Like during this time, I was already like reflecting on self-care and myself and growth, but this just reeled it all in for me. And it really made me lean on God, because from the clips I showed, I had an anxiety attack like on the second day. And honestly, it was because I've never really been sick, where like fatigue literally takes over your body. You are exhausted. Shortness, not even shortness of breath. I won't even use that word because that's a little extreme. I would say winded. I still get a little winded. I lost taste, I lost smell. So I was just eating to eat because I knew I needed to. I would try to like do things because I woke up feeling better. So I would try to like continue to do things, and not to be repetitive or anything, but this whole experience just really brought light to how I feel, because I work on a COVID unit with COVID patients, and I just know how fast people's situations can turn. Healthy people are really good on oxygen one day, and then the next day they're declining out of nowhere. I was scared about having to be admitted to the hospital and not being able to be in contact with my family because we're not doing visitation. And the day I had anxiety, it really made me really zone in on my thoughts and how I felt, because I'm like, Bree, you're okay. God got you. Like, you've been working on the COVID unit for over 5 months and you're just now getting it. Like, God's really been covering you. And then when you do get it, the symptoms are like mild. And to me, mild because I feel like I have a high like pain tolerance to certain things. So like what was mild for me probably wouldn't be mild for someone else. The anxiety was real. But I love, once again, the support and love that I got from my family. I'm very private with certain things like this. And so I know that I'm going to get an influx of like questions and things like that. And that's why I'm happy that I've waited to release this towards the end of COVID, my COVID journey, I guess, before releasing it, because I don't think, for me personally, it would have been healthy for me to release it and I had just had an anxiety attack, and then now, you know, people would have been asking me questions and stuff, and it just would have heightened it. Another update that I wanted to mention too was that I have, you know, slight anxiety about returning to work, because I know that I haven't really had a full 24 hours where I just didn't feel sick. And the requirements for my job is you can't have diarrhea for 24 hours, and you also can't have a fever for 24 hours. And so I haven't had a fever since like the 3rd day, but I did have like an episode of like diarrhea, loose stool. And so they had like, they assign you like a case manager who follows you, and they basically put in paperwork on when you can return back to work. And so yesterday I had spoke to her, and I was just telling her I do feel better. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I do feel better. I don't feel comfortable, since I do work on a COVID unit. I don't necessarily feel comfortable just jumping right back in. So I'm not sure if I'm necessarily ready. And she was just like, oh, well, you meet the criteria of going back to work, so you'll have to discuss that with your manager. So when I had that episode yesterday, I went ahead and told her personally, so that I'm not rushing to get back to work, because even though like as a nurse you don't want to leave other nurses hanging, I also want to be mindful of myself. Like, that fatigue was on another level, and I already know I get super tired just from being healthy with no issues and going to work. So just thinking, for me jumping straight back from here going into that, I would be butt tired. I wanted to also touch on like my symptoms with COVID and what I actually see in the hospital. My patients would be like extreme chest pain, some serious coughing, maybe sometimes some phlegm coming up. I didn't have phlegm. They will also, I had a major headache too. Let me say that. I did have a major headache, and it's gone now because it goes away with Tylenol. But that headache is like a congestion headache, but it's like also tension, and it's just like woo, woo, woo. That comes and goes as well. I also had a few patients had no history of diabetes, but by the time they were discharged and they were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes just from COVID, because we believe that COVID is linked with attacking the pancreas and the lungs as well. So that was coming through my mind. Like, it didn't really, to me, attack my lungs like that, because I did try to move around as much as I could and walk the neighborhood. Also, I would sleep prone, so that can also help with your breathing. Also, another thing that I learned in hospital was we had to give a lot of aspirin and Lovenox, which is a heparin, a blood thinner, because COVID is said to also thicken your blood. So just as a nurse, y'all, I'm thinking about all of this while I'm at home. Like, I don't want to get a blood clot, so I'm moving around as much as I can, but doing the movements will make me tired, so then I'll sleep for hours. But then it's like, when I'm sleeping, make sure that I'm positioning myself a certain way, like on my stomach prone, so that I can get that breathing. I was basically doing everything that I would tell my doctor. I had a nurse friend also ask me, like, well, what medicines have you been taking? I didn't get any prescriptions for any medicine. The doctor literally told me to take, he said, do what you do in the hospital. So we take multivitamins in the hospital with a combination of vitamin C and zinc, and that helps progressing better with COVID. I was worried about also having to be COVID negative before I return to work, but we have also seen that COVID can lay dormant in your body for up to a month after you've been exposed to it. So I'm probably at this point not even actively transferring COVID, but it can still be dormant in my body for a month. So I'm personally probably not going to get tested again until mid next month. But other than that, y'all, I'm just so grateful. Ooh, Lord, I'm so grateful, because this just could have went left. And I know that, like I said, I probably won't be returning back to work until like 5 more days. So I know that probably won't be 100%, but I know that within the next 5 days, I know that I would personally feel like, okay, I can return back to work and give my best effort, and then also not have anxiety about returning to work. When I get back to work, I'm not gonna lie, I'm wearing an N95 with every single patient. I already was kind of doing that, but I feel like what exposes nurses and healthcare workers as well to COVID at work is probably not even the patients. It's probably the co-workers that we work around, like during lunchtime, breakfast. So I'm just gonna be more precautious about that when I go back to work. I'm probably gonna try to eat by myself, no lie. Just find an open space by myself. Overall, if y'all have any questions, any comments, any concerns, let me know. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, and hopefully this video wasn't too long. I just wanted to this is probably the rawest y'all gonna see your girl. You know, I just, throughout this whole video, I didn't have even the thought of getting dressed and stuff. So I love your support, guys. Like, share, follow my page, and put your comments below. Let me know what you think.